Hi Special Agents, Commander G here, helping you get to grips with your reading comprehension skills so you can tackle any special agent tasks that may come your way in a few months. Okay, this is all about reading and we're going to concentrate on one skill at a time. This is going to be about ticking the correct answer. Okay, so when you get a reading comprehension to do and you've got to do a very important job with this to show what you've understood, it'll always look the same. You'll always have a little bit of a text, part of a story or something like that, and some questions. Okay, my first tip is always read the text first and then look for clues in the text to help you choose the right answer. When you find it, we underline it. So Mrs G is going to do the reading today. You can read along if you like, and I wonder if anyone can get the answers before me. Don't worry if you can't, let Mrs G train you how to do this. Let's take it nice and slow. Off we go. Oscar needs a friend. Oscar was a bear who couldn't keep still. All day long he raced around the mountainside. At bedtime he raced around Mum. And when at last he snuggled down, Oscar always said the same thing. I wish there were more bears on our side of the mountain. I wish there was another bear who liked the same sort of games as me. Practice question A. What kind of bear was Oscar? A bear who slept a lot, a bear who could not keep still, a bear who could not keep quiet, or a bear who ate a lot. Now this is not a memory job, it's a reading job. So we want to find something out about Oscar. So it's practice question A, it's usually in the first part of the story. So if you underline it says there straight away, Oscar was a bear, let's read to the full stop, who couldn't keep still. So what kind of bear was Oscar? He was a bear who couldn't keep still, or a bear who could not keep still, and that is the answer that you will tick. Weeks passed and Oscar wondered if he would ever find a friend. Then one day he bounded home, bursting with excitement. "Mum, Mum," cried Oscar, "some new bears have moved in just up the path, and the little one looks as if he needs a friend too." The new little bear was called Max. Straight after lunch, Oscar set off to meet him. 1. What was Oscar excited about? Having lunch, going home, new bears moving in, or seeing his mum? So what was he excited about? Now sometimes they use a word that means the same as excited here, where it says excitement. Don't let that trick you. Then one day he bounded home bursting with excitement. That doesn't tell me anything. I'm going to keep reading and underlining to see if I can see one of those choices in the story. "Mum, Mum," cried Oscar, "some new bears have moved in." So what was Oscar excited about? That's it. New bears moving in. Well done, the answer was there. When we find it, we underline it. Well done. That afternoon, Max asked if he could try Oscar's slide again, then his branch. "It's easier than I thought," beamed Max. "I do hope he'll want to play hide and seek soon," thought Oscar to himself. But he knew now that he must wait until Max was ready. 13. What did Max find out after trying the slide and branch again? It was easier than he thought. It was harder than he thought. He fell over. He could not do it. So we're trying to find where it tells us about the slide and the branch again. Not a memory job. Let's look for slide and branch. Let's scan and skim and underline it when we find it. There we go. That afternoon Max asked if he could try Oscar's slide again, then his branch. It's easier than I thought. Okay, so what did Max find out? He found out it was easier than he thought. A simple tick in that box would get you that point. Well done. Bella goes to sea. Bella the goose lived with William in a cottage by the sea. William was a fisherman. He had a big garden with lots of good grass for Bella to eat. Sometimes for a treat he took Bella to the harbour cafe and bought her a milkshake and biscuits. But whenever William went to sea, Bella had to stay behind. "You can guard the house," he said. Practice question A. What was William's job? Tick 1. This is also a really important tip. It says the number word in bold black letters because if you tick more than one box you lose the whole mark for this question. We only need to tick 1. What was William's job? Tick 1. Cafe owner, gardener, guard or fisherman. We're not expecting to remember. We're going to go and find out where it says William. So it says William lived in a cottage by the sea. That doesn't really give me any help. Or it says William after the full stop. Let's try that one. William was a fisherman. Fantastic. So what was William's job? He was a fisherman. A tick in that box. Well done. Billy's Sunflower by Nicola Moon. Billy had a beautiful sunflower that he'd grown from a seed. It was taller than Billy. It was taller than his big sister Laura. It was taller than his mum. It was even taller than his dad. Every day Billy looked at its bright green leaves. Every day he admired its golden yellow petals. Every day he looked up at its tall straight stem. My flower is as tall as the sky, he told his friends. Practice questions A. What did Billy grow from a seed? A daisy, a sunflower, a rose, or a buttercup? Practice question A is usually in the first sentence of the story. Let's look for something to do with growing from a seed, and when we find it, underline it. Okay, let's read that whole sentence back to ourselves. Billy had a beautiful sunflower that he'd grown from a seed. What did Billy grow from a seed? That's it, a sunflower. Well done. One day, Billy noticed something different about his flower. The bright green leaves didn't seem so bright. The golden yellow petals weren't quite so golden. And the tall straight stem wasn't quite so straight. What's wrong with my flower? He asked Dad. Perhaps it needs water, said Dad as he rushed off to work. So Billy watered his flower. 1. How had the leaves changed? They weren't quite so straight. They didn't seem so bright. They didn't seem so big. They weren't quite so golden. This question is asking us about the leaves. Let's scan and skim and underline the word leaves in the story and read to the full stop. The bright green leaves didn't seem so bright. So how had the leaves changed? They didn't seem so bright. Well done if you got that one. There's an octopus under my bed. Molly didn't like tidying up. On Monday, Molly was playing in her room when her mother said, "Molly, tidy up." But she was too busy being a princess. Then Molly went for tea and she still hadn't tidied up. Practice questions A. When did the story start? Tick 1. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday or Thursday. So you need to go back to the beginning of the story and see if you can find one of those days of the week in the text. Okay, let's see. Right at the beginning of the story. There it is. Did you spot Monday? So the only box you need to tick there is Monday. Well done, guys. You're doing a really good job. I'm riding on a giant. I'm riding on a giant. I'm way up in the sky, looking down on everyone from higher up than high. Practice question C. What does the child say they are riding on? Tick 1. A cloud, a horse, a giant or a train. So we need to underline they are riding on a what. You might be able to see the answer in the title, but I found the word riding in the first sentence and the answer is also there. I'm riding on a giant. So what do they say they're riding on? That's it, a giant. Well done. Living in a castle. When you think of a castle, you might have stories like King Arthur in mind. You might even think of stories about princesses and dragons. But what were castles really like and who lived and worked in them? Hundreds of years ago, when these castles were new, lots of people lived in them. The high towers and thick walls kept them safe when there were battles. Today, many castles are ruins and are falling down. Practice question C. What is this text about? Tick 1. Building a castle, living in a castle, repairing a castle, or looking for a castle. Now when we want to find out what information texts are about, they have a title or a subheading, and the title is always at the top of the page, and sometimes, like this title, it's written in a different colour and is bigger and in capital letters. So living in a castle is the title of the text. What is this text about? Living in a castle. Well done, secret agents. Keep your eyes peeled for next week's tips coming up to show you a different type of question style. And remember, this is top secret information. Don't share it with too many people or they'll all be as clever as you. This is Mrs. G signing out. See you next time, special agents.